Welcome everyone to another fun-packed episode of Chat, Grapple and Cheap Pops podcast. I am Chris Dredd. I'm here with my main man, J to the B. How you doing, brother?
All good, man. All
good.
We are getting there. We are definitely getting there.
So we're off the back of, this is episode 28. We're back on a review. We are off the back of two massive interviews that we had with former superstars, Duke the Dumpster Drosy and the fantastic Santino Marella. Thanks to everybody who watched, listened, paid attention, liked, retweeted, blah, 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 all that shit. We are very, very grateful. But we are back to what we know and what you love. We're back on the reviews, baby.
That is absolutely it. Welcome. How is everyone doing? Everyone should be great. I'm sure they all heard, Santino or Anthony and Mike telling their stories. It was a lot of fun for us. Thank them as well for coming on. But yeah, we're going back to what we know. And it seems as though people prefer us chatting shit.
It seems.
An interview.
But you know what, we love doing whatever, and we just we were sending out messages for people, and it just so happened that just after Christmas we got a few back, and then we just smashed out the couple of interviews there. So this episode here, 28, has been a long time coming, and we've been talking about it because we had an episode before Christmas, which was the Saturday night's main event preceding this. And if people don't know what episode this is going to be, it is going to be WrestleMania 5. But we have got some news, don't we, Jordan?
We do indeed. And as always, we like to start with a bit of news. We'll try and keep it short because there is, WrestleMania 5 was a 3-hour, 40-minute show. So let's keep this one sweet. In our news, there's a good news, bad news in this one. Good news. Paul White, aka The Big Show, signs a long-term contract. I'm using quotations because I'm not really sure how long that is, with All Elite Wrestling, AEW. The competitors, if you will, right now. They're not number one. They like to think so on Wednesday nights. That's fine because they are beating NXT. But that is a big deal. That is a good deal. And I put this out on Twitter. At Chat Grapple Pops. You know where you can find us. You can see the link somewhere if you're looking at us.
Yep, it's there, baby.
Now, I put this out there. Is The Big Show now AEW's most globally recognized star?
People didn't like that, Jordan.
I know they didn't, because people will tell you that Kenny Omega's the biggest star. John Moxley's the biggest star. Globally, Paul White is a bigger star than those two.
Yeah, and arguably he's there with Chris Jericho. It's going to be Chris. It's going to be Chris. Do you know who? Let me tell you who's the big...
I'll give you one more. Does Chris Jericho have his own sitcom on Netflix?
No.
No. Big Show does. Or Paul. Yeah, does did Big Chris Jericho jump into movies with Adam Sandler and all of that?
True.
Stuff? No.
It's true.
Captain Insano's All Elite, baby.
Captain Insano shows no mercy. But the thing is, though, bro, there's a problem. There's a problem when you say things like that. The AEW fanboys don't like it because you're insinuating that they don't have any big stars themselves. But do they really at this time? They've only been a company for little under 2 years. They're not really going to have that many homegrown stars. They're not going to have that many globally recognized stars. When you're talking about Kenny Omega, someone was talking the other day on Twitter how Kenny Omega was a bigger draw than Brock Lesnar. Yes. Roll them eyes.
For those listening, I rolled my eyes and I closed them because nah, man. Like that is...
Bro, they were arguing that, his strong style means that he's got that air of legitimacy for him. It's like Brock Lesnar was a legitimate UFC heavyweight champion.
They never saw Brock Lesnar beat the holy shit out of Frank Mir.
fuck's
saw him,
sake.
come back from the brink of being battered by Shane Carwin. They never saw any of that stuff. They only see Kenny Omega doing, winged eagles and,
Oh no, dude, wait, stop you there. That is the finishing move of the year, you son of a bitch. Don't you dare fucking take.
And with that, shall we move on to the AEW Slammies? Is that what we're calling them?
Yeah, the AEW Slammy Awards, aka the Wrestling Observer Awards, 41st Annual Wrestling Observer
Like
Awards.
It means something, the 41st annual, like you've been doing it for, good Lord, man.
Mate, it is, for me, right, I've seen so many, like, people are crying today. People are crying, people are salty today, memes and posts and that. And it's like, look, if you can't look at the list of winners, okay, and see that it is just a let's shit on WWE list. I mean,
they
first of all,
had an award for that as well, didn't they?
You've got to look at it. Who votes for the awards, the winners, and who are they listening to gather their opinions, and what are they watching?
As far as I could tell, this was canvassed of around, no, it's either 9,000 people or 9,000 votes. I'm not 100% sure.
Right.
I think it's 9,000 people. I'm sure he's probably got that many subscribers to the Observer. That's cool. That's great. But it's 9,000 people, if it is, listening to the same stuff week in, week out about how, Japan has 8-star matches, AEW has 6-star matches, but Walter and, Dragunov didn't. Come on now.
Mate.
Don't do this to me.
I mean, let's talk. Should we break down a couple of things in the list? Because do you know what I mean? We've been doing interviews this last couple of shows, and you've got to let me off the leash, bruv. I have not gone in.
Let's do a couple. Let's do a
couple.
The whole thing, because it would just bring us down.
I know, that's fine. I mean, the fact that they've got Wrestler of the Year, Female Wrestler of the Year. To be fair to you, I probably would have had Sasha Banks as Wrestler of the Year and Bayley as Female Wrestler of the Year. I probably would have had both of them fucking as top wrestlers, because as I keep saying, Moxley's, whether it's COVID or whatever, right? But Moxley's reign has been meh. It's been meh. Dude, feud of the year, Moxley versus Eddie Kingston.
I would also like to point out that we had our own end of year awards that you can go back and look at.
Yes, you can.
And it's a way more objective, award show. We do have a lot of fun. It is, we don't just poke fun at the competition, because, there isn't competition for us, is there? We're just a standalone show. It doesn't matter. We don't work for any wrestling company.
We are not affiliated with anyone.
Yeah.
That's right. Although Jordan sometimes insinuates that I'm getting that Dixie Carter money.
Well...
But, but this is another thing as well. This is another hot take. They're talking about announcer of the year was Excalibur.
Ooh.
I mean, I would argue, Impact Wrestling's got quite a good announced team. It's one of those things where this is basically a list of AEW people. And the only people
who won worst announcer? Wasn't it Michael Cole?
It was Michael Cole, but I think it's the other prick that what's his name?
Tom Phillips.
No, Justin.
Justin.
Is it? I can't remember it. I can't remember his name.
Next to Cole, Corey Graves.
Corey Graves, yeah.
Oh, really? You don't like him?
He's a bit annoying.
Okay.
The list just don't make. Tag Team of the Year, Young Bucks. Get the fuck out of here, man. Come on, bruv.
It weren't even the best team in AEW. I'd have picked FTR.
This is what I'm saying. It's one of them things. Like, it's all well and good, like, and I'm sorry, it makes me laugh, but people on Twitter just didn't like it when we were saying that it was clearly not an impartial list. It was clearly agenda driven, but to be honest with you, the awards don't mean shit. WWE are still,
well, it says they don't mean shit, but just in case you wanted to alienate any of the fans that were finding it difficult to pick this up and go, you know what, I'll give them a go, they were tweeting about every last award they won Thank you so much, Wrestling Observer News, all this stuff, Booker of the Year, remember?
Oh, I mean, come on.
Yes.
Booker of the Year, Tony Khan.
Yeah.
I mean, chances are he's not even...
Let's be honest, the only good Booker this year has been Booker T.
Do you know what I mean? But he's not even probably booking. I mean, you've probably got, if anything, you've got Arn Anderson probably booking. You've probably got Cody Rhodes booking. You've got Tully Blanchard. You've probably got Jake the Snake doing a lot of the booking. To say that Tony Khan is actually the one doing the booking, I mean...
Hell, they did call Jim Cornette, like they've said they never did, but Jim got it. He's got the calls.
So yeah, what is that about? Let's just explain that.
Well, there was an argument online. They insisted. Jim made a point saying that AEW had called him, had conversations with him. This was way back before I think they even started. These were then denied, and I think Jim had the proof. So, yikes.
These stupid fucks.
Yeah. But again, yeah, Booker of the Year, goes to his good buddy, Tony Khan. Like, I mean, if we're looking at this from a real objective standpoint, AEW it has overtaken NXT. It is the premier show on Wednesday nights if you're going to watch wrestling, but not by a lot. It's 100,000 in the ratings in America anyway. It's not, they lose to Minder most weeks on ITV, If we're being brutally honest, they lose to Minder a lot. Tony Khan, seems like a nice guy. Those Impact ads are terrifyingly bad. I'll get to Impact in a minute because I've got a question for you. But he's, how well did the Jags do this year in the NFL? They're getting an early draft pick next year, aren't they? And how well are Fulham doing these days? 18th,
mate. Too many fingers in too many pies, and he's focusing a lot on just standing there on Impact like this, fucking. And let's not get started on those little promos on Impact. They're just. That's all
right. We'll get to it.
They're shitting all over Impact. It's not helping them.
Not fair.
Have a look at this award, bro. Most disgusting promotional tactic of the year.
This was the one I mentioned, just like alluded to a minute ago. Like, yeah, it's just 4 things that WWE did. Nothing, not mentioning carrying on that Sammy Guevara Matt Hardy match.
Yeah,
Hardy cracked his head on the floor. Yeah,
and not mentioning the other fella which was in our what the fuck moments award show where he got knocked out in the ring and they carried on wrestling and he was completely fucking Sparko in the middle of the ring. There has been some absolutely shocking safety issues that have happened in AEW this past year that have been completely glossed over, and they could have cost people their lives.
If we're calling it a promotional tactic, they used the same spot in the rematch. They used a real spot, a real injury. They, rehashed it in their rematch in their House of Hardy whatever match, like later on. Don't get us wrong, right? Not Impact. I'm talking about the wrong show. AEW has some good stuff, but when you call the man that stands with his hands in his pockets the gimmick of the year, I got worries. I got big worries because it's not even a good gimmick.
I just, and they said the worst gimmick of the year was The Fiend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't even think it was the worst gimmick, to be honest.
No, I mean, it's
way worse out there.
It's clear, like I say, and before we get fucking lambasted, attacked, or whatever for having an opinion, we have said from day one that we want AEW to do well. We want them, but you can't progress as an organization and you can't improve as an organization when you've got loads of yes men circle jerk fucking shit going on.
That's it.
You can't improve if you cannot accept your failings and you can't take criticism. You are not going to be able to improve. That is something that people have accused WWE of and Vince McMahon of having a lot of yes men around him and just being a wank fest circle jerk. It's that they don't take criticism and this, that, and the other. But AEW is even worse. And don't even get me started on the fans. These fanboys, they do not ever hear anything negative said against AEW, and they're the first ones to talk about WWE fanboys and WWE marks. Don't hear anything against WWE. You're fucking worse. End of.
My personal favorite word, stan. The stands.
Stan. WWE stands. Yeah. Fuck you, kiddo, as we were called in a tweet the other day.
Something
Fuck
like
you,
that,
kid.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, if you want to say fuck you to us, that's fine. But we think this whole shenanigans is just absolutely laughable. The only one I agree with is Female Wrestler of the Year, Bailey. I thought that one was a good one.
But that's because the female division was neglected for too long. In AEW. They have got a tournament going on. It is going quite well. So we can't, let them, give them time. Let's see what they can do with it.
Best non-wrestler.
Trying to be objective. We try.
Sorry, mate, but this is another one. Best non-wrestler of the year, Taz. What? Not Paul Heyman? No.
Well, yeah, you got
the fuck out of here.
Paul Heyman's speeches on Talking Smack have been absolutely brilliant. Like these pep talks, these pickup speeches that he's giving to talent on this Talking Smack show have been fantastic. Taz, I'm going to use one of your words, meh.
He's meh. And if anything, any good that he has done, he probably learned it from Paul Heyman in the first place. Let's not get it fucking twisted.
Right. Has the AEW Impact Forbidden Door nonsense, has it fizzled? I mean, they spent 3 minutes in a paid advert just ripping into Impact. Didn't work for me. I thought it was pretty cringe. Like I said in the tweet that we put out, I'm sure it was hilarious in production and in rehearsals if they had rehearsed it. I'm sure it was a lot of fun. I'm sure they had a lot of fun high-fiving each other. But
bruv, high-fiving and circle jerking. Again, we've said this from time and time again. They're just trying to pop the fucking boys. They're trying to pop the marks, man. They're trying to pop the smarks. That's it.
They should be, looking to bring in more fans.
100%.
More fans that aren't looking to watch NXT on a Wednesday night. They shouldn't be looking back at NXT. They should be looking forward to picking off Raw next. Not by moving to Monday night, that would be a terrible idea, but by getting more fans, by going, right, we're only 500,000 behind Raw. How can we make that number up? Not, we're 100,000 ahead of NXT. Let's just leave it.
What, Raw? You mean what, the worst show of the year voted in the Observer?
Well, I mean, it's been pretty bad.
But I mean, have you watched Impact recently?
No.
That's what I'm talking about.
I try.
And this is coming from a TNA Impact fan. I'm looking ahead of me, and I've got TNA figures all hanging off my wall.
You're a six sides man, don't you? Let's be honest. You're a six sides man, not a four-sided ring.
Bro, I'll take 4 or 6. I'll take 4 or 6, mate. I'm a TNA fan. Don't get it twisted. But they're not great at the moment. Impact's not great. But it's just I find it hilarious, man. I really do. I just, it's...
Before we move on to some WWE stuff really quickly, barbed wire deathmatch, Omega and Moxley, how do you make it safe?
Well, I mean, you can't, can you? It's barbed wire deathmatch, bruv.
I mean, is everything going to be gimmicked? Barbed wire and all that stuff? In a world where blade jobs were considered unsafe now in wrestling.
Well, I mean, you've got Omega doing the Undertaker gimmick and making it in a fucking shed. Remember the old Undertaker promos when he was making the coffins and that, and fucking planing the wood and shit. You've got Kenny Omega there making the fucking, maybe he's gimmicking the wire, just chopping the ends off or whatever. But the thing is, though, this is another thing. If you're going to have a barbed wire death match, it needs to be believable. And if people are wrestling with barbed wire, they're going to bleed, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, of course they're going to bleed. It's going to be I don't know. I'm maybe I'm a little bit too cautious on this one. I just don't think I never thought it was a good idea anyway. never really thought it was a good idea when they did them in Japan. I never thought, look at what happened to Sabu when he had a barbed wire match in ECW. He tore his bicep open or something, didn't he?
And then had to tape it back on or whatever. But it's one of these things where they're just trying to push how tough Moxley and
reward.
And Omega are. They just keep trying to push how tough these two people are. It's getting a bit boring now, man. They've got one of the most charismatic wrestlers on their roster in MJF, and he's just fading into oblivion. He was the hottest thing a few months ago. He was the most.
The Bucks now, so.
Well, yeah, but this is the thing. You know what I mean? You switch it up, fam. Everyone, all their fanboys are talking about this long booking. Long booking doesn't mean just keeping a chump with the title for as long as you can fucking keep it on them, just because.
Now,
it's like,
don't get me wrong. No, we spoke about this before, long time ago. We saw Sammy Guevara as a possible breakout.
100%.
He made mistakes. He had to go to counselling or something. He's out of the inner circle. What? For what? He's not challenging a champion. He's not doing anything.
He's again fading into oblivion because they're
gone. Big moment gone.
And they dropped the ball. They've dropped the ball with him.
Recycled Matt Hardy into a low budget $1 million man.
Yes. I mean, mate.
And when I say that, I mean, Matt Hardy, the lesser Hardy, because I cannot think of anyone more overrated right now than Matt Hardy. And that's a take from me. That's not from Chris. That is my take on some part of wrestling. And the geezer would turn up and let his brother do all the moves. Come on.
Well, I mean, yeah, all right. I mean, that's a hot take because I still think he could work. I thought Matt Hardy 2.0 was quite good. But Matt Hardy's promos have always been very good. They've been pretty good. But, but his brother Jeff is still doing bits in WWE. He was in Elimination Chamber, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And we haven't spoken about that. The Elimination Chamber.
Well,
we haven't.
Time consuming, Elimination Chamber aside, Edge has picked Roman Reigns as his WrestleMania main event. It could be Roman, it could be Daniel Bryan. I think they're going to go at Fastlane, Roman and Daniel Bryan. Pretty sure it's going to be Roman. And Bianca Belair picked Sasha Banks, so that's going to be fun as well.
Yeah, I mean, they just had. I can't see Bianca Belair beating Sasha. Maybe she will. I think maybe Sasha's tired. I think she's been, really full on. She's been doing bits for a long time, and she deserves a bit of a break, if I'm honest. I mean, Bayley. There's still WWE, despite what people want to say, they've got a good roster of people. They've got a lot of wrestlers and they still do really good stuff, sporadically though it might be at times. And I'll tell you this, we have a retro wrestling podcast, and I'll be honest, I wasn't keeping up with the modern WWE product. I really wasn't, even though I've had the network for fucking years.
That's because his favorite wrestler Brock Lesnar wasn't on the show.
No, but that's it. Brock weren't on there. No, but Brock can't draw a dime, bruv, apparently, compared to some. But anyway, I wasn't keeping up with it. But of recent, since the end of last year and that, I've been watching every WWE pay-per-view. I've been catching up on Raw and SmackDown. I've been watching NXT. I've been watching bits of NXT UK. And I'll tell you who's another good commentary team. NXT UK, really good commentary team. Maybe I'm biased because I'm from the UK and you know what I'm saying? But we fucking love our wrestling. You know what I mean? And do you agree that the NXT UK commentary team is pretty good?
Good one. Very good one.
It's, for me, I have been keeping up with WWE now. I've watched Elimination Chamber. I watched the Rumble. I've been keeping up with it. And I made a mistake. You know, I poo-pooed it a lot, and I don't think I was as bad as the AEW fanboys when AEW started, but I had high hopes. You know, I had a semi on, and I thought, great. You know, Chris Jericho, JR. You know, all these.
There's the hot that we still have high hopes. It can all be, you know, fixed. It's none of these things are, you know, unfixable.
I'll tell you another thing they didn't like though. When I posted a meme on Twitter, when I posted that picture of Sting after he took that power bomb. Oh, they didn't like that.
61-year-olds be taking power bombs. I mean, Mae Young was way older than that when she went through the tables, but
it don't make it right. God damn it!
Tough to tell, May. We'll get to all that, but I think we should leave it where it is. We should tell the wonderful people, you know, that are still listening after us, you know, dig out everything and anything in wrestling, that you can like and subscribe to this channel.
We haven't had the opportunity for a few weeks and that to fucking dig shit out. So, you know, whether you like it or whether you don't like it, you can check us out on YouTube. Chat Grapple and Cheap Pops podcast on YouTube. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter at Chat Grapple Pops. It's down here in the bottom corner. You can check us out on Podbean, Spotify, Deezer, Castbox, you know, Listen Note, Stitcher, fucking Amazon Podcast, Google Podcasts, you know, Apple Podcasts. You can catch us on every single podcast platform imaginable. And also, can we just mention, dude, about the new champion in WWE as well, unless people have been living under a rock?
The new champion. Oh, The Miz. Yes. Or you talking about Bad Bunny?
Oh, fucking Bad Bunny. Yeah.
I think he's talking about The Miz. I'm very happy for The Miz. I don't, you know, the guy busts his hump.
I like The Miz. I think he's fucking great, man. You know,
we got no problems with him picking up a title, however short the reign may be, you know, which could be short. It could only take him to WrestleMania.
And if all the people that are saying that Miz is a boring champion, just wait until fucking Lashley gets a belt. Then you'll see a boring champion.
Hang on a minute.
Yeah, fucking, I'm not a fan of Lashley, bruv.
Even if MVP did all the talking for him.
Well, even so, that makes it even worse that he can't chat. But it's one of them things where I on paper, Bobby Lashley should be the best thing going, you know, today. And he's
The following take is brought to you by Chris.
He's also living proof that the WWE doesn't have a wellness policy. But we'll leave it there. You know, MVP's pissing for him. Anyway, we will skip that and just say congratulations to The Miz. Because I thought it was really good the way it was done.
Had to leave the DeLorean running because Chris is going to get caught up by Lashley any minute.
You fucking know.
So we've hopped in and we have hit 88 miles really quickly.
We're getting the fuck out of here and we're going to Trump Plaza. It's April the 2nd, 1989, and this is WrestleMania 5.
Atlantic City, New Jersey. Like the cheaper, less fun version of Vegas, apparently. Official attendance 18,946. It doesn't look like that, but it could well be. The pay-per-view buys. Now, this is a good one. 767,000 pay-per-view buys. This is a record that wouldn't get beat for 10 years.
It was a big draw.
15, yeah, massive draw.
Well, you think about why as well, because you think about the gap, the year that had just been from WrestleMania 4, which was also at Trump Plaza, between WrestleMania 4 and WrestleMania 5, this event, you've had a year of Macho Man Randy Savage as champion. You've had the Mega Powers. You've had a lot of stuff going on. It's been a big year and it's been a big build up to this. And we've also had the Saturday Night Main Event before it, just building it up and just talking about how Hogan and Macho Man are going to be going against each other and how Liz is Piggy in the middle. You know, great stuff.
It is. It's a hell of a main event that pretty much sells the show. There might be one other match that you might consider being a selling point of the show, but this is the show that definitely, is the selling point. The mega powers do explode. Is Liz going to be in anyone's corner? The answer, she answers that question on that Saturday night's main event by saying no. So let's get to it. America the Beautiful, sung sort of by a petrified Rockin' Robin.
She was rabbit in the headlights, wasn't she? Bless her. She was. It's like someone cancelled and they said, "Oh, you can sing, can't you? Fucking get up there, go on."
Current women's champion here as well. Poor Rockin' Robin. She was just chucked out there and said, "Sing it, woman.
Sing it, bitch."
And she gave it a go, but yeah, it did not go. More.
It were all right. She done all right, yeah.
I don't know, man. One of the more, and this show went on, that I realised how underrated these two were as a commentary team. Gorilla Monsoon, Jesse the Body Ventura. Their banter was, it's completely different to, Heenan and Gorilla, because Heenan was chicken shit. He was always, he'd always, back down, whereas Jesse worked in the ring. He was always, a big name, and he always wanted to, give back and push back on Gorilla. It was pretty good. Like, they would, especially when they're arguing about how old each other was and stuff like that.
Oh, it's great. It's there was another moment when Gorilla said, "Oh, I'm glad I'm retired," and then Jesse goes, "Yeah, me too." And he goes, "What? Glad you retired?" He goes, "No, glad you retired." It's like the banter was impeccable, because I love Jesse the Body Ventura on the mic. I love Gorilla. This was an event, if I'm not mistaken, where Jesse Ventura wasn't going to be involved, but it was sold to certain closed circuit companies and cable companies that Jesse the Body Ventura would be involved. And Vince had to go cap in hand to Jesse Ventura and basically say, look,
pay him a lot of money.
But say, look, we need you on the show, because the cable companies, they because he was big, he'd just done a load of movies, didn't he? He'd done, I think The Running Man had already come out.
Yeah, I don't know if he'd done that already, but he's already in Hollywood at this point.
Yeah, and literally, like, he even says, he goes, "I've been paid a lot of money to be here, and I'm going to do my job." When he was after his Hogan rant, we'll get to that.
So yeah, first up we have a very regal entrance from King Haku, who's with Bobby the Brain Heenan, taking on a trim Hercules. Hercules has slimmed down here.
He's slimmed down. He's still pretty meaty.
Oh yeah, he's not even in the running. This is how interesting 89 is, with that wellness policy not existing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the shakes are being knocked back plenty in this era, and Herc's trim. Again, quick, short matches here at WrestleMania 5. Short, not great matches, some of them, and this is the first of many.
Yes, it's not a great match. It's pretty gimmicky. You've got two guys who can work, and that, what I mean. It's Bobby the Brain Heenan's first of many matches on the card. You've got Hercules swinging the chain. You've got, like you say, King Haku coming in and Heenan saying, "Everybody get up off your feet and bow. Get up on your feet and bow for King Haku." It's a very short, very simple match.
With little of note, apart from a beautiful backbreaker.
Yeah.
The selling was brilliant. The execution was brilliant as well. Herc wins it with a back suplex.
That's it. There's not
much. Yeah, it's not a lot to go on here. Now, we can move on from this, because Mean Gene is with the Rockers. And Shawn Michaels is licking his lips and sweating hard.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah.
That common side effect from a certain substance.
Well, yeah. At this point, we all know Michaels will become an excellent promo later on down the line, because he worked on it and becomes the guy in the 90s. The Rockers are not a good promo here. But is this the one where they were out partying all night? The night before?
Yes, I think so. I think so, yeah, because we spoke about it in our last one.
Yeah.
It was they were out all night and they were in the bar, and then they had to, yeah.
Jesus, man. Yeah. So I cannot get over the licking of the lips and this heavy sweating.
Oh yeah,
That's
I
a
mean they're
vital thing.
fucked. They're absolutely fucked.
And then we get to one of the best, wrestling themes going. Jive Soul Bro starts playing, and it's the Twin Towers. We've got, Boss Man and the African Dream. Akeem is giving it all of this on its way to the ring.
Akeem is just crazy. The gimmick, man.
It's a wildly, sort of inappropriate gimmick, but screw it, man. It's the 80s. They're going for it.
It's 89, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Twin Towers against the Rockers. Slick's in the corner of the towers. Shawn Michaels does a moonwalk to zero reaction. Yeah. Now, I've got a quick question.
Yo.
Is the African Dream a Dusty parody?
I would think yes. I think, he's very similar in the mannerisms, in certain ways. I think it's a little bit of a Mickey take. I'm sure One Man Gang might tell you different.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they were not adverse to a Dusty piss take parody. Hence, we've got Virgil in this event coming up soon. So yeah, I'm sure it was a piss take.
We get a vicious clothesline from Akeem, which is sold wonderfully. Again, this match, I remember it getting lots of good reviews going back. I'm not feeling it.
It was all right. I mean, it probably got the good reviews off the back of a few of the Rockers' double team moves. But yeah, it was probably good for its time. But I mean, on the scale of things, it wasn't amazing or anything like that. It was all right. It was good. It was good.
Shawn Michaels is caught mid-air for a powerbomb. I like that. That was good.
Yeah, it was good.
The Air Africa splash.
Yeah.
For a 3 count. And I mean, again, it's okay. It's not. Again, it doesn't hold up. I think that's more of a product now. Yeah, it was fun while it lasted. Tony Schiavone, there's someone we forgot who works for the WWF at this point. He's interviewing Ted DiBiase and Virgil. He says that Beefcake ain't cutting his hair. And that's pretty much the gist of his interview.
Yeah, I mean, he talks about someone like me with clout and money, like Donald Trump. We're luxurious and we spend money on our appearance, and you're not cutting this hair. And I'm a person who knows one or two things about luxurious hair.
Oh.
I wouldn't let Brutus cut it either.
Our first appearance of Donald Trump on one of the main cameras is in this one. Ted DiBiase goes to shake hands with the Donald, or Mr. President, whatever you want to call him, former president, whatever. It is Ted who's with Virgil against Brutus by Beefcake. Gets a nice pop. Oh, Brutus.
Yeah, I mean, he was pretty hot at this time. And if I remember correctly, this match was actually quite long.
It's longer than some of the others. I mean, it's right. It's not as long as some of the skits that we've got to get to, but...
Or the movie trailers.
We'll get to it.
Yeah, I've got a special present to show you and all.
Oh, no.
It's not my bell that I need people to be touching.
No, it's not. It's that framed poster again, isn't it?
No, it's something better than that, baby.
I cannot wait for this. Ted's bumping big early. He's selling the hell out of it, calling for timeouts, and he's being a proper sweet heel.
It's so good.
But Jesse is the star of this match.
Amazing.
He says he was on the plane with Farrah Fawcett, and they couldn't keep her away from him. He had to call for stewardess' help. And poor Gorilla's like trying to feign that he's not. He's making it all up. It's really good. Virgil does get involved as expected. Now, I'm a bit of a sucker for a double clothesline spot.
Love it. Done well. It's always good.
Yeah. I'm not the only one, thank God.
No, especially if it hits hard and it looks good,
and
it's timed well. I love them. Great stuff. The double downs, as they call them.
And Virgil does carry on getting involved, lays in the outside. In the midst of all this mucking about, it's a double count out. Really unsatisfactory finish.
Yeah, it was a weird finish. I don't know what they were going for.
I'm guessing they were looking to protect both. Ted probably had a feud coming up later on with Jake the Snake.
Yeah, as noted.
Brutus had a SummerSlam main event on the way. So it was probably worth protecting him too. Beefcake ends up laying out both, sends them packing. Not not something I enjoyed, but again, I understand protecting them both. If you want to protect them fully, you'd have put them in against people that could job.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah. Lord Alfred Hayes, bless God, love that man. He's at brunch with the Bushwhackers and he's trying to get an interview out of them whilst they're eating pancakes.
Yeah, and they're just talking with a mouthful of,
it was still probably made more sense than the Warrior.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next up is the Fabulous Rougeaus with Jimmy Hart. The Rougeaus have been announced from Memphis here. These all-American boys.
Oh yeah.
There's a nice touch. I thought that was good fun. And they are against the Bushwhackers. I know they're a good personal close friend of mine's favourite team. So Mike Hill, Mickey, I know how much you love the Bushwhackers. We're going to spend the next half an hour talking about how great they are. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
Jesse says that they're on the Joy Juice.
They're on the Joy Juice.
Kind of juice.
Yeah, Jesse's amazing. What he brings to, like you say, with him and Gorilla was a great partnership. It really was. He was selling it, and it was good, and everybody was happy.
Yeah, crowd aren't into it.
What, the match?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was shit, mate. It was shit.
Again, but Jesse and Gorilla are having good banter, so it sort of keeps you entertained, especially if you're sitting there trying to watch it, and you can't turn it off because you've got to write something down about it.
Yeah.
In a bit of an upset, the Bushwhackers get a win here with a double gutbuster.
Yeah, they get a big win because the Rougeaus are doing the heel thing, celebrating before they've won, and they come with the battering ram, and they get
poor Sean Mooney gets licked on the face.
He does.
By,
he's out there with the crowd.
He had some weird assignments, Mooney, this show, didn't he?
Oh yeah.
He was all over the place, but at this point he's in the ROA and he gets licked by a Bushwhacker. Man gets licked by a Bushwhacker. That sounds terrifying as a headline.
Have you ever been licked by a fat man in an overcoat?
Next up, Ventura's what he called the sleeper match. Or he predicts it's going to be the sleeper match before it goes on. Mr. Perfect and the Blue Blazer. And technically, this is excellent.
Oh, it's a great match. You got a super face and a mega heel. Both of them technically gifted. It's fucking it's great, really. It's good stuff.
The fans are invested in this. Again, like I said, technically excellent. There's a beautiful belly to belly, as well as a almost like a baseball slide drop kick. And the Blazer had a knack for getting that just right. He did even on that Saturday night's main event. he did the dive through the ropes, didn't he? Onto
$1 Million Man. Yeah, that's right. And it was great. You know, it weren't one of the hokey spots where someone's standing there for 10 minutes waiting for someone to fucking come. It was great, you know. And yeah, I mean, apparently Jesse thinks he might know who the Blue Blazer is.
He
at
did
this
give
point.
anything away, yeah.
No, he said he doesn't deal with rumors. He only deals with facts. So he wasn't 100% sure, but he was close to finding out who it was.
Also said he caught up with Larry the Axe as well.
Yeah, that's right.
He still had a 24-inch neck.
And he said he wanted to slim down and lose some weight, and he said, "Yeah, just lose 2 inches off your neck, and that'll do it."
Yeah. Really close call on a crucifix pin, which had the crowd like super into it.
Yeah.
But it does go the way of perfect. There is a perfect plex, as Jesse calls it. He corrects Gorilla.
Yeah.
For the win. It's very good. I mean, I can't talk about that one enough. If we had more time, I think we would. But it's it's really nice. And then we have a big surprise.
Yeah, Jesse's big surprise,
which is Fink introducing him at the commentary booth, and he just sort of flexes and waves for a minute, which is fine. Like,
I think that was again
a good pop.
Yeah, he does get a good pop, but I think that's another thing as well, just as a little nod to the fact that he was paid a lot of money to be there on that night, and his presence needed to be noted for the crowd as well, you know, because obviously they're not going to know necessarily he's on commentary because the commentary booth was quite high up.
Now, I have a quick question before we get on to this next bit. Did you watch the VHS version?
No.
Okay.
Because I was at my computer, so I do have I've got 2 different versions of this on VHS. I've got the Legacy box set version, and I've also got like the standalone VHS version. But no, I watched this on the network.
Very cool. Yeah, I watched on the network too. Poor Alfred, he's doing the run around after brunch. He's had to go to a 5K run, and Mr. Fuji is taking part in this 5K run in full suit.
Yeah, in full suit with cane and hat and everything.
Doesn't break a sweat.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Great.
Master Fuji.
In tip-top condition for his match later on in the show. Then we get the Run DMC WrestleMania rap.
Oh, Trump's loving this as well.
He's all over it.
He's fucking loving it.
I'll give Run DMC this. One, they didn't get the best sort of reception. I think they're in the wrong town for a start. The crowd is I'm pretty sure it's not a rap crowd. It's
a New Jersey crowd, isn't it?
But they are looking fresh and fly.
Oh, dude, they were fucking on point, man. And you know, the lyrics were WrestleMania wrestling based. You know, fair play to them, man. Yeah.
But yeah, that was a WrestleMania rap, and it was I enjoyed it. I was just sort of sitting here, I was admiring the clobber, to be honest. It was a really like tip top stuff, really good.
This is 89. This is peak Run DMC.
Yeah. They recap the Fuji heel turn from Survivor Series, or the sort of the double switch, wasn't it? Demolition went babyface and the Powers of Pain. Well, I never really thought were a babyface team in the first place with a name like that. Turned heel, and joined with Master Fuji.
That's right.
Mean Genes with Demolition, and they keep referring to Fuji as Fuge the Stooge.
Fuge the Stooge. They kept doing it before, didn't they? On the old on the WrestleMania 5 debates. If you want to watch that on YouTube, they're on YouTube, and also on the Saturday Night Main Event, they were talking about Fuge the Stooge.
Yeah, excellent. Fuge the Stooge. Now this is a promo that I was really into. It was loud, it was aggressive, it was everything an 80s promo should be. Shouting and sweating and aggression.
Yeah.
And I was into it. Like, it wasn't like listening to Marty Jannetty, you know, we're going to rock and roll, strut and start stroll and, you know.
Yeah.
get on the gear in a minute.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. It is a tag team title match. It is the Powers of Pain and Mr. Fuji in a handicap match, taking on the champions Demolition. I mean, Demolition's gear, though. I mean, yikes. Who told them that was a good idea?
It's a bit, like I say, I always, look, as a kid, I never really questioned it. When you grow up and you look at it, you do think, bring out the gimp, you know, don't you? It's proper like Pulp Fiction fucking bring out the gimp style, man. All they're missing is a ball in their mouth. And it's your proper S&M shit. It is like, yeah, man, studied fucking, yeah. It always struck me as weird when I grew up, you know, that two grown men walking around in sadomasochism outfits.
But in this match, we have our first contender for our, you know, welcome it back, everyone. It's the ICO Pro Award.
Yeah.
The Warlord, Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, good Lord, he was ripped, Roney.
Yeah, he is knocking down them shakes. I don't think they're the Road Warrior shakes, but the
they're not the Road Warrior shakes. Where were the Road Warriors at this time? WCW.
I would assume so. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't hit the WF till what, 1990?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure we spoke about that as well. They left after teaming up with Norman, didn't they, or someone like that? On
Yeah.
the WW show, and they ended up leaving like the month later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 1990. Again, another stiff clothesline from Axe on the Barbarian. Really like that. It was good stuff. The crowd have fallen asleep.
Yeah, they were lulled at this point. It was a low point.
Fuji, God love him, they send him to the top rope.
Fuji was still going at this time as well, man. Like, you know what I mean? He you know, former champion as well, Mr. Fuji.
Yeah, they send him, former tag team champion. They do send him to the top rope. He misses a flying, possibly leg drop, I think.
Yeah.
The hot tag to smash does get things going though, and it does bring things back. It brings things to life in the crowd. Fuji ends up throwing the ceremonial salt at Warlord by mistake, and Demolition get a win. That's
and still.
Yeah, and still that was poor Tony Schiavone. I'm pretty sure he thought he was going to get the number one spot here in the WWF when he flipped over from the NWA. He's interviewing a door because Randy Savage clears him off.
Yeah, get out of here. I told you no interviews. And off he went.
Our second ICO Pro contender is up next. Dino Bravo.
Yeah.
Another fucking unit of a man.
Oh, absolutely.
He's out here with Frenchie Martin. He's going to set to take on rugged Ronnie Garvin. But before they start the match, for some reason, they bring out Superfly Jimmy Snuka.
Yeah, really weird how they did it as well.
They literally roll him out. He gets into the ring, does his signature sort of hand signals.
Yeah.
And then gets out the ring and walks off.
Because when he came back for a little bit, didn't he? This is not because he's got a Hasbro figure. So it must have been around, 1990, 91. So it's weird how I always do things by the Hasbros when you're looking at the 90s.
Think of a Hasbro and there it is.
Who had a Hasbro. So, yeah, Snuka, for some reason, he'd been out for a while. Injured or whatever, and they even say, Gorilla says we're going to be seeing a lot more from the Super One. So he was coming back, but it was really weird how they did it before the match. Yeah, they just they introduced the two guys, and then you bring down, if anything, do it before the match starts.
I thought he was going to be a special referee.
That's what I thought when they were bringing him down. Yeah. That's what you would think.
Dino jumps Ronnie at the bell. Ronnie Garvin's pin attempts are hilariously classic.
Oh yeah.
Like he just keeps diving onto him to try and get pins, and it's it doesn't go well. He just keeps getting lobbed off. It's like
quick question for you. Were the body donners a rib on rugged Ronnie Garvin?
I can't imagine so, but I mean, I don't remember seeing any sort of workout vids from Ronnie Garvin.
No, it's more the hair. Like if you look at Chris Candido and that, like in the Body Donners, their hair is literally rugged Ronnie Garvin, like straight, like it. You know, it looks like
set your watch to it, yeah.
Like Buzz Cut from Beavis and Butthead.
It's got a haircut of Major Chip Hazard from Small Soldiers.
Yeah, it is. It's literally that. Do you know what I mean? And the gym teacher from Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah. Rugged Ronnie Garvin, though, we shouldn't take them piss. He was an NWA World Champion for a little bit, didn't he? I'm sure he beat Flair and lost it back to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, skipping on because this isn't your 6-star match, as Meltz would say.
Oh, it's big. No, 12-star match.
Side suplex and Canada's strongest man wins the match. Poor Frenchie gets hit with the Garvin stomp though, which is a great move.
Oh, you got to love the Garvin stomp. Getting stomped 360 degrees. Yeah. Getting stomped on every single orifice and fucking limb.
Next up, this could have been excellent. I think it didn't really pan out that way because they had an angle to play out.
Yeah.
It's the Brainbusters with Bobby Heenan, and that's Arn and Tully, two phenomenal workers against Strikeforce. Rick Martel, Tito Santana, again, phenomenal workers. It could have been brilliant. There was a frantic start. Tito and Rick Martel take the lead as such.
Chico,
as Jesse would call him. Call him Chico. Yeah, terrible.
It's so funny, man.
Yeah,
I mean, don't you think that Rick Martel was in absolutely fucking fantastic shape here?
Great shape, yeah.
Possible contender for the Ikai Pro as well. Borderline.
I think Warlord and Dino are in there. I think there's one or two more to come as well.
Yeah, I've got my shout for it.
Yeah. But yeah, it's going really well. This match is being laid out. The double teams are fine. They're really good stuff. And then Tito lays out Rick Martel with the flying forearm.
Yeah.
Or as Bobby Heenan once called it, the flying jalapeno.
The flying jalapeno. I mean, like you say, that angle was what was getting played out, but it takes away from how good Tully and Arn are in this match, because working as a tag team, they were great. When they were selling, they were absolutely great.
They've even got Tully, like at one point when they're in control, sort of prancing into the ring. And I thought, man, I forgot how charismatic Tully was.
Oh, they're fucking great, man. And I swear we've said on a different show when I've asked the question, are Tully and Arn in the Hall of Fame as a separate entity from the Horsemen? And they're not, are they?
No, and they won't be now.
But which is because this was the question that was asked when we were on our previous show, because they're in AEW, are they ever going to get inducted into the Hall of Fame as a separate entity? And but think about the work that Arn Anderson did as an agent for WWE for years and years and years.
Well, Arn dropped the ball on his own podcast. I think it was this week, wasn't it, or last week, when he said that people from Hollywood shouldn't be coming to wrestling and stuff like that. He was referencing Bad Bunny, I think.
Oh, right.
And celebrities shouldn't be on the wrestling shows, when the company he works for had Mike Tyson,
Shaq,
these types. I'm pretty. No, Stephen Amell hasn't been on AEW yet, has he? No, so I'm sure that'll
Snoop
come.
Dogg. They had Snoop Dogg.
They had Snoop, just like WWE did. It was a mistimed sort of comment from Arn.
Or maybe it's something that he's tried to put across backstage, and he's just having a JR moment.
Frustrated, yeah.
Yeah, and he's just like, I've fucking said this so many times, but we don't need that. Focus on the wrestling.
Possibly. Arn does do the Flair top rope spot here. He does get launched from the top. Rick Martel's been on the ring apron selling this forearm forever.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to do it right. And he has sold it, and then he refuses a tag and walks out.
Yeah.
And we get a beautiful spike pile driver. I mean, I know pile drivers aren't a thing in wrestling much anymore, but, two guys like that, you save as houses, isn't you?
This is the thing as well. If anything, if they want to bring legitimacy, an air of legitimacy back to it, then the Spike pile driver is a perfect thing. I still remember in WCW when the Horseman got Paul Orndorff and they Spike pile drived him on the concrete on Nitro. I mean, they looked like they fucking spiked him, and he was fucked for a little while, weren't he? He was out.
This does call the end to any wrestling on this show for a little while, because we have got a very long segment. And,
it's huge.
Yeah. It's a Spike pile between Mean Gene is with Rick Martel. Tito Santana got what he deserved, apparently. He was riding his coattails for too long.
Yeah.
And I believe this is almost the birth of the model.
It is. We're getting there. We're getting close to the model. I always
hell of a gimmick. I'll give you that.
Oh, dude, the model Rick Martel. I always wanted one of them badges. One of the massive badges that says, "Yes, I'm a model." I just.
If anyone knows where we can get one, send us a message.
Or make me a fucking badge, please, someone.
Next up, it's Piper's Pit. But after going through a load of accolades, an introduction like no other from Fink, he brings out Brother Love. Oh, Brucey.
I love you.
When I say Brucey, I don't mean Bruce Forsyth either.
Good game. Yeah. Good game.
That's a British reference for anyone not listening in the UK. He hosted.
Is Bruce Forsyth?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Is he still with us? No, I thought he was like 128 still.
No, he. But for those listening, he hosted everything, every game show you can think of. Bruce had some sort of involvement, and even later on, he was hosting Strictly. So. Mate,
I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Okay, I was born early 80s. Okay, I was born 1982. The one of the best fucking game shows ever to be on TV was the Generation Game. Okay. I don't give a shit. Hate on me if you want. Catch us on Twitter and Instagram. Get involved in the conversation. American people, get on YouTube. If you're listening, type in Bruce Forsyth's Generation Game. What's on the board, Miss Ford? When I was growing up as a kid, you know what I mean? She was Peng. It was, it was, Rosemary Ford on the board. Bruce Forsyth Generation Game was the shit. Yeah, but we're not talking about Bruce Forsyth. We are talking about Bruce Pritchard, aka Brother Love.
Brother Love, the man with the podcast. But he does come out. He does his best Roddy impression, which is funny. I'll give him that.
Not a bad impression.
Yeah. And without any introduction, they bring out Morton Downey Jr.
Yeah, one of the most. Let me pick my words correctly. No. Annoying, slimy, obnoxious people I think I've ever seen on TV. Like I think that's his gimmick. That's his shtick. But yeah,
that's because Joey Ryan doesn't have a TV show, right?
Dude, wah wah. Yeah, Morton Downey Jr.
How did all those lawsuits go, Joey? No, that's right. Suck it, dickhead.
Oh, dude.
Sorry, that's just me.
Anywho,
yeah.
Any thoughts on this show, and not necessarily the thoughts of Chat Grapple and Cheap Pots podcast. No, they are, in fact. No, they are. Actually, fuck it. He's a cunt.
Come at me, man. I don't care. Morton Downey does come out. He tells Brother Love, he goes, "You ain't running nothing, fat boy."
That's right. And he says,
insults are very, very behind the times, aren't they?
Oh, they're very much, anyone dressed like you, I don't want them to love me and all this,
Brother Love at this point is wearing a kilt.
Yes, he's wearing a kilt. Yeah.
And this is where, Roddy finally comes out, so the fans are a bit weary when they play his music again, because he doesn't get a pop until they actually see him.
I thought it was, when I first watched it, they had a habit of bringing out like midgets or like people who were, I was half expecting, some kind of midget or some kind of, piss take rowdy Roddy Piper.
Yeah. But Roddy does come out. Roddy gets into the ring. And at this point, I don't know if you caught it, but Morton's throwing his socks into the crowd.
Didn't see that, did he?
Yeah.
What, he took his shoes off and threw.
He whips his shoes off and takes off his socks and just launches them into the crowd. I mean, if you're talking about slimy and weird, I mean, that's up there.
That's fucking Tony Atlas having women walk on him, foot fetish kind of shit, isn't it?
Oh, and there we go. Tony Atlas has made his way onto it.
I don't know. I think maybe because I was listening to the shoot interview with our good friend, one of our favourites, Teddy Long. And they was talking about Tony Atlas having a bit of a foot fetish and women walking all over him and that. And just you said about him taking off his shoes and throwing his socks into the crowd, and it just popped into my head.
He also, when Roddy is essentially chewing out Brother Love, he's throwing cigarettes at him.
Yeah,
it's like Morton doesn't really know what to do here. He doesn't know how to just sit and behave.
Yeah, it's like a kid with, just sitting there, just can't sit still, can't behave. And I think he was trying to just get involved, but couldn't get involved, if you know what I mean. He just wanted a bit of the limelight, fam, you know what I mean?
And Roddy does, he just takes the piss out of Brother Love, whips off the kilt to no reaction whatsoever. But the fans, I'm pretty sure the fans weren't here to see Roddy go at Brother Love, because they were into Roddy and Morton going at it.
Yeah, because Morton, I assume Morton Downey Jr. was, I mean, we're English, so
probably
we wouldn't have, we would have no fucking idea when they wheel this motherfucker out, who he is. That's like, that's like to an American crowd, them bringing like Johnny Vaughan out or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, no one's going to fucking know who him and Denise Van
I don't think we know who he is anymore, do we?
Oi, leave Johnny Vaughan alone. All right, I'll tell you what. Him and remember they had a show. He had one with the guy Buller, Ricky Groves. No, they had a show on BBC. It was fucking great. But anyway, yeah. I'm sure he was. Morton Downey Jr. was a big deal. So yeah, the crowd were really into the back and forth with Piper, but Piper fucking. I mean, we had Santino Marella on the podcast, Anthony, the other week, and we were talking to him about Roddy Piper's stiff. He was telling us about his stiff slaps. Well, when Morton Downey Jr. doesn't stop blowing smoke in Piper's face, Piper really does do a job on him with the fire extinguisher.
We'll get to that. Morton Downey starts blowing smoke in Roddy Piper's face. Piper tells him to stop, calls him Morticia for some reason. Don't really get that reference, but
it's Morticia from the Addams Family, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't know. He doesn't really look like her, does he?
No, just calling it. It's just one of those like outdated, calling someone a girl, isn't it?
Possibly, yeah. Morton makes a mama joke at Roddy. Doesn't go down well. Piper's just starting to get into this. I can tell, like he's just starting to sort of turn the heat up a bit. Morton also calls him a transvestite.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Weird. Still blowing the smoke in his face, and then Piper does get the fire extinguisher after asking for a cigarette. And he goes, oh man, right on the undercarriage as well.
Oh, dude, he's nuts, yeah. And it's literally at the point where Morton Downey Jr. is holding onto his leg, basically saying, he's like tapping out, basically saying, look, just stop, man, because I doubt Morton Downey Jr., the amount of cigarettes he smokes, he's probably not got great lung capacity. So he was spraying him.
You see where like Piper's making his way up the aisle, and Morton's trying to get at Roddy Piper, is being held off by like security and like the Trump Plaza stuff. They're all sort of stopping him because he looks pretty angry.
Oh, he's pissed. He's fucking pissed.
Extinguished.
But the thing is, the last thing he wants to do is do anything to Roddy Piper, because Roddy would probably legit just fucking slap him up. You know what I mean? I don't think Morton Downey Jr. is used. I think his character, he's used to being the aggressor and the instigator, and I don't think he liked being put in his place like that. I don't think it was probably explained to him.
He took the
how
when he got fire extinguished, he fell flat back. He did all right.
No, he took a good bump, actually. I thought that was good. He did take a good bump, but I don't think he was expecting to be sprayed as much as he was. And especially on the fucking scrotal region.
So after a really long segment like that, which went on possibly forever, I think.
It was fucking
get back to the
long.
wrestling, but we have a special treat from Mean Gene. It's the trailer for No Holds Barred.
No, dude. It's not just a special treat from Mean Gene. Oh no, you're getting a special treat from Chrissy Dredd tonight, baby.
Oh.
So
what have you done?
This is something that I have. So Mean Gene Okerlund introduces how No Hold Barred is going to be like this box office smash. It's going to be really, really huge, and that it's available on VHS.
Oh fucking hell!
There we go.
VHS copy that, of No Holds Barred with Hogan in WWF gear on the back. I don't understand.
I'm not sure if it was. I mean, it was New Line Cinema, but was it anything to do with, maybe WWE invested in it?
Oh, of course they did. Vince had his fingerprints all over that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the whole reason that it was pushed on WrestleMania 5. They showed the whole trailer of it.
Yes. The man.
And there is, in fact, in No Holds Barred, I'm pretty sure there was a 6-sided ring.
There is, yeah. There is a 6-sided ring, and this is where you get your first peek at Tiny Lister. God bless
Zeus.
Him. Yeah.
What was he called in WCW when he come in?
Z Gangster.
Z Gangster. That's.
But we know him as Debo.
Debo. I'll bust your ass like Craig did. Knock your fucking ass straight.
Sean Mooney, I think, is a little bit starstruck here because he
100%.
He flubs all over his lines talking to the Donald. Maybe he was just super impressed with that haircut. I'm not sure. But
he really was. He messed up his words quite a lot in this one. He was definitely Sean Mooney. He was a bit starstruck with Donald Trump here.
Yeah, maybe he, just a little bit overwrought by it all. But yeah, it's just Trump saying, "Oh, it's one." It's almost like a Trump presidential speech. AC's packed. It's wonderful. It's great. It's, yeah, whatever, man. Like
it literally was. It's like the way you say it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It was like the streets are packed. Everybody's excited. We're really excited. It was fucking great. I was watching it. My missus is in the next room and she was laughing, listening to this Donald Trump thing as well. She also was laughing at the Hulk Hogan promo, which is coming up as well.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. But yeah, this was great. Trump was, it's fantastic. The whole town loves it. We're proud to have you. It was great. Really good.
At this point, we cut to Gorilla Monsoon, and Jesse Ventura is fucking livid.
He's livid.
Absolutely fuming with Hogan. It is a great promo because Gorilla can't keep it together either. He starts smiling and corpsing at him.
He does, because I think Jesse spits in his face.
Yeah, he does. He spits in his face in anger.
He's fucking like
talking, he doesn't just like hawk one up and start gobbing at him. It's like
this is one of the greatest. It is one of the greatest promos ever. It is Jesse Ventura just absolutely livid at Hulk Hogan trying to get involved in Hollywood. It is, how dare you step into Hollywood? He's like, I've got a job for you, Hogan. You can drive my limo.
In a way, it's almost like it's the feud we never got to see.
I mean,
Jesse hated Hogan.
Well, Jesse actually talks about, I've got a good mind coming back into the ring just to teach this fucking bozo a lesson. It is just amazing stuff. Amazing. And legitimately, if someone's going to come back into the business and teach fucking Puke Hogan a lesson, it would be Jesse Ventura.
It's a cracking promo. Like, for someone who's not like building a match, like, it's really good. We get a look at the Mega Powers explosion. We've been over this already. Like, I already made my points on the Saturday Night's Main Event show about how someone uses somebody else's woman or partner, however you want to put it, you know, as a way of getting a title shot. Fucking shame on that man.
Yeah, fucking don't get me started on Hogan, because this promo coming up, I mean, Hogan is a contender for the ICO Pro. He's not as ripped as he usually is, though.
No.
He's far from it, from peak Hogan. Maybe he hasn't been taking as many vitamins or saying as many prayers, but
probably not. Yeah,
it's one of those. It's funny. I watched WrestleMania. I was doing some bits and bobs yesterday, and I watched WrestleMania 17 and I watched WrestleMania 18. Ooh. And you had The Rock versus Hogan, and there's
a show we'll have to cover.
Oh, dude, fantastic, man. You've got the coach interviewing with The Rock, and The Rock goes, "Coach, have you been, eating your vitamins? Have you been saying your prayers?" And he's like, say your prayers, coach. Do it now. Get on your knees and say your prayers. It's like, get your ass out of here. No one wants to hear you say your goddamn prayers. And it's just a great promo. But I just thought I'd mention that I watched those two in the last day or so. This
promo was fucking mad. But I have a problem with it because Hogan's...
Me too.
The Mania was ahead of the madness.
Bro,
he's so fucking snide, isn't he?
Bro, in my fucking notes right here, he is a fucking snide son of a bitch. He is a fucking... Every minute, Hogan has to have a sly dig. I'm glad you brought that up and it weren't just me. Hogan the fucking punk bitch. Or Lust Hogan, as Jesse kept calling him. You son of a bitch. Yeah, the Mania was over the madness. It was greater than the madness. But I let him get away. But he couldn't live up to the expectations of the Hulkamaniacs and all that. He let his lust get in the way, and all this shit. It's like, fuck off, Hogan, man.
It literally, like, this promo, I shut down mentally on it because he rambles about Trump, Atlantic City being swallowed by the earth. I'm like, did Warrior write this for him? Did they just get on the powder and go, right, you write my promo and we'll just say it. I don't care.
It was, it was nonsense. Written in association with some Peruvian fish scale. It was written in conjunction. Yeah, it was written in conjunction with Colombia's finest export.
Yeah.
It was mad. It was fucking mad.
And what a weird promo that was. But nevertheless, we move on because
they should bring cocaine back into wrestling. I think there's not enough coke fueled promos in wrestling anymore. Like, it's too straight edge, man. They need to just get them on the fucking packet.
Computer games, they ruined it, didn't they?
Bro, get them on the beak, bruv. Yeah, that's it. You know what I mean? Get them on the beak.
Back on the someone.
Yeah, get them on the Chang, bruv. If they're struggling in promo class, what they should do,
little bump.
If you're struggling in class, put the white on the glass. Yeah, that's the get the credit card out, chop up a couple of fatties, sniff a little snifter, get behind the mic, and just let your thoughts run wild.
My God, I don't think I'd ever have to say this. I never thought I'd have to say this on our show, but we in no way endorse that. We are having fun, for God's sake. Like, please take that for the laugh it was meant to be.
But, bro, I'm not advocating, giving any wrestlers cocaine to fuel, their promos. But, I mean,
if we see anyone licking their lips and sweating really heavy, we'll know they've been listening.
I don't know. A few of them fucking need it nowadays. The promos are fucking piss poor, a lot of them nowadays, But I think that goes back to... It goes back to a point that we spoke about with Anthony, aka Santino Marella.
Yeah.
When these guys are doing their promos nowadays, they're not themselves with the volume turned up to 11. They are portraying some kind of, they're having to go from a script, so they're not just they're not just given bullet points saying, right, boom, 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 cover those, let's do this. Because you know, I mean, I fucking love doing promos, man. The amount, and this is the thing. When I used to work in a shoe shop, okay, here's a little anecdote from my past and the feud between myself and Max, not the Hulk Hogan. So I've got these promos still in grainy footage from an old 3G phone when internet phones started. Okay, excuse me. So I used to work in a shoe shop, right? And there was a display of like 100 shoe boxes in like this pyramid, yeah. And I set my phone up and I've set record and I cut this promo on Max, not the Hulk Hogan. And he was like, he kept on saying he was going to break my back, and I was like, yeah, you saying you're going to break my back? Well, you can't break my back if I've broken it myself already. And then I just took this huge bump into these fucking shoes and then started throwing shoes everywhere. And I was like, you know, it's one of them things where if you're in the moment and you've got a few things to cover, but you just say it, that's the best promos just come out of that. I mean, I hadn't taken 2 fat lines of cocaine before I did it either. Maybe it would have helped and made it a bit better, but it's one of them things nowadays where everything's too scripted, I think. And when you've got more freedom and you've got people that are just, because I'm pretty sure that the Rock and Stone Cold and people like that weren't heavily scripted.
No.
You know, the better promo guys were probably just given bullet points, and the other guys were probably literally big old cue cards written with big black letters. Fucking say this word for word, you know, do that. So, I mean, Hogan's promo was absolutely crazy, but it was good, man. It was good, you know, fuck it. And yeah, we're not advocating drug use, but,
No.
you know, we're just having a laugh.
I didn't cut any promos back in the day, but I was holding something like a 3G old school sort of phone when Cactus Matt was cutting a promo on another friend of ours, and yeah, it's one of the good ones.
I remember.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe you remember it.
I remember. Because Matty had the same phone as me. Because, like I say, this is fucking years ago. Going back, me and Matty used to work in the same place in a fucking warehouse years ago. And when we got these 3G phones, you know, we were the first people to really have these video phones, you know. And we were like, yeah, we're the fucking nuts. And yeah, Matty can cut a promo.
You can.
Bless him.
We'll move on because our next match is something very strange. But whilst we're here, the match refereed by the great Big John Studd. He's special guest referee. He comes out to some weird sort of Hacksaw Jim Duggan style music here.
Yeah, it's weird, yeah.
It is Andre the Giant with Bobby Keenan. There's Andre in all his glory.
Lovely. Showing the lovely pop.
Yeah. And he is taking on, now this is an underrated wrestling like sort of figure series for me, and it's the Jack's Classics.
Lovely.
They just don't. I'm not really sure what the problem is with them. I don't know why people don't talk about them as much as I know. Hasbro is Hasbro and Galoob is Galoob, and you can, that's it.
You know why people ain't talking about them? Because it hasn't been on the Major Wrestling Figure podcast yet. And then once they talk about them on there, the price is going to go fucking 10 times the price, and they're going to be everyone's hot topic.
No comment. But this match starts pretty quickly and pretty, it's pretty limited because Andre is, quite immobile here from what we can see. He exposes a turnbuckle and puts Jake into it straight away, which was a great way to start.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Start with the ultra violence.
Jake eventually gets going and gets Andre tied up in the ropes in the classic Andre spot.
He loves that spot, doesn't he, old Andre?
He does, yeah. It's a good one because the fans are always into it as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's a bit of a plodding match, but Andre's working in slow motion. Jake's trying to, stick with it. And, it's it's just one of those matches. Andre eventually starts joining with John Studd. It was going to happen, two big guys. And then from nowhere, Ted DiBiase turns up and tries to take the snake away, tries to steal the bag, which again is not a drug reference.
No, it's not. Yeah, no, that's Chasing the Dragon.
Yeah. And yeah, whilst that's going on, and Jake goes to retrieve his bag of snake, Andre is choking out John Studd. I think they always miss it on camera.
Yeah,
he's choking John Studd, and then Jake launches his snake into the ring.
They double feature it, didn't they? The old classic 2 cameras.
No, I don't think they did they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was a double feature.
Must have missed that. You know how much I love it.
I know, mate. I know. I would have thought you would have clocked that.
WCW do it when they've got 60 guys in 3 rings.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jake wins it by DQ. It's again, these matches are not long. They just blink and you miss them.
Yeah.
Sean Mooney's up in the cheap seats for some reason. Not sure why.
Yeah.
And then we cut to Tony Schiavone with the sensational one. She's there.
Oh, and Tony Schiavone has got a Woody on for old sensational.
I mean, it's not quite, Gene and Woman, but
oh no. I mean, let's just take a moment to appreciate those Mean Gene Okerlund and Woman promos.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Classic. What a fantastic moment those are.
But yes, the sensational one is after Rockin' Robin's title, and then she also takes a little shot at Liz.
She does, yeah.
Yeah.
This is peak prime sensational Sherry. She's looking fantastic. She's got the swagger. Wasn't there supposed to be a women's championship match, which it was Rockin' Robin versus Sherry at this event?
I didn't.
Because I swear they had they were on the WrestleMania 5 debates, but they ended up talking about what corner Liz was going to be in.
Okay, no.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure there was supposed to be a women's championship match, but yeah.
Next we have, they're not quite Rhythm and Blues just yet, are they?
No.
No, it's still Honky Tonk Man and Greg the Hammer Valentine on their own.
Great team.
Yeah, with Jimmy Hart. Against the Hart Foundation. And this is almost like Lost in the Shuffle, this one.
I thought it was a great match. It was it was a good match. Really good.
Yes, it's almost like it's been sort of lost in the card. The double team slingshot where Anvil goes flying over the top rope.
Brilliant.
Double tackle, yeah, you can't beat stuff like that. Shake, rattle, and roll from Honky on Brett, but no pin. He ends up tagging Greg Valentine. It didn't make any sense to me.
No.
Anvil explodes out of a hot tag, and
beautiful.
Yeah, really good.
Good drop kicks. It's still, for a guy his size, his drop kicks and that hot tag when he came in and was drop kicking and tackling was fantastic. But do you notice the beard?
I do notice the beard. It was also noticed by someone else. They said, I think they might have mentioned it to you already.
Who's that?
Stroking the beard. Well, Cactus himself said it. He said, "What's he doing that? What's he doing that for?" You got to love the laugh, though, man.
Can't do it like Anvil, baby. You know it. But I'm modelling the beard off of Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and it's getting better every day.
Yeah.
Some people say it's a bit Fagin, but it's definitely Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
Brett Wallace Honky with the megaphone for the win. It's
good.
Yes.
I thought it was quite a good ending the way it happened, where they were able to turn around the heels tactics and use them against them, which is better than when Hogan just does out and out heel tactics, but he's just so over he can get away with it. This is a good way to do it.
We switch quickly to the recap of the pose down challenge at Royal Rumble. That where Rude attacks the Ultimate Warrior. Doesn't go well for Warrior there. He ends up attacking officials and referees and stuff. And we move on to our this is the second biggest match of the night.
Absolutely fantastic match this is.
Yeah, Intercontinental Championship, Ravishing Rick Rude with Bobby Heenan against our champion, the Ultimate Warrior.
It should be a match for the ICO Pro Award.
Absolutely. There is only one winner though, and
who are you going for?
It's the Warrior.
See, you know what? For size-wise, yes, I would go for Warrior, but how chiseled Ravishing Rick Rude is.
Yeah.
I mean, all those high rolling Atlantic City sweat hogs. I bet I bet they were absolutely jealous when he took his robe off. And he's like I say, we're talking about hair, and I know a little bit about fantastic hair again. Rick Rude's hair, absolutely fantastic. I've got a bit of a man crush on Rick Rude here. His pants.
Yeah.
Beautiful. The tights are beautiful. He's got the Warrior on his arse. Excuse the image there, but and the Intercontinental belt round the front. The guy was fucking he was simply ravishing.
Start of this match where Rude tries to attack Warrior and ends up kneeing the belt.
Yeah.
And selling that straight off. I was like, yeah, I'm into this.
It's so good, and the Warrior, he had just fantastic matches with Rick Rude, whether it was in the steel cage, whether it was this match at WrestleMania 5. With this match at WrestleMania 5, I would say is probably better for me than the cage match they had together. But
at SummerSlam 90, yeah.
Yeah, but still the SummerSlam 90 cage match. But the reason why I think I like this one better was the finish.
But before the finish, there's a missile drop kick from Rick Rude.
Oh, it takes his face off.
Fucking wonderful that is.
It was brutal. You see, like the Warrior's head snap back, and he does his
Warrior
double
is
thing.
Going in rough.
Oh, it was fucking good, man. It was a missile drop kick off the top, almost taking the Warrior's head off. But fair play to Helvig, he took it.
Ventura is suggesting that Bobby Heenan is only checking his pockets for his slot machine coins.
So good. It really was.
He could also hear the broken hearts in the audience, and Rude couldn't do his swivel his hips.
Oh, it was quality, and even Ventura's saying, the women are going to be disappointed later on tonight if he can't move them hips.
Yeah. We get a bit of a grim botch though.
Yeah.
Warrior goes for a backbreaker. He does hit the first backbreaker, tries to pick him up and stumbles. So they end up going crashing towards the corner. I mean, Monsoon covers it by saying that he's just, he tried to throw him to the outside. He did.
Yeah.
He tripped.
No, he tripped, yeah. And the referee to this match was Joey Morella,
yes,
who's actually the adopted son of Gorilla.
Yeah. Because Jesse rips into Joey, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
I mean, Rude's bumping like crazy in this.
Oh, is it Ravishing Rick Rude? He was one of the absolute greats. One of the absolute greats for selling, for the positioning as well. The fact that he could work with someone like Warrior, who generally his matches were 5-minute squashes,
yeah,
or botch-ridden really matches a lot of the time. But he was able to get the Warrior to slow things down, work at a certain pace, lead him around and do these things. But you couldn't really tell. It was, the Warrior really did work well with Rick Rude. And it was just a testament to how good Rick Rude really was. His positioning in one of these things where he took a bump, and then as he was selling, turned himself round. So then he was at a certain position for Warrior to run the ropes and then drop, an elbow or do like a splash. He was just so good. Ravishing Rick Rude, just so good. Can't express that enough.
Just as Warrior is about to suplex Rick Rude back into the ring, Bobby Heenan grabs his leg holds on to it for dear life. And the referee counts. We've got a new Intercontinental Champion. Jesse Ventura is delighted.
Oh, he's fantastic. He said he can't wait to get backstage and start celebrating with Bobby Heenan later on. Yeah. But you know that spot where they did it, where Rick Rude's outside of the ring, Warrior's in the ring. He lifts him up for the suplex, but then as Heenan pulls his leg and the Warrior comes down, it looks like he kind of like DDTs.
He lands on his head, yeah.
He lands on his head, yeah, and it's like Rude manages to get his hand down. I don't know how much he actually landed on the top of his head, but it looked like he fucking got a bit of a spike on that one. But yeah, it was a fantastic finish to the match. Really enjoyed it, man. It was for me, it was the best match.
Heenan has to take a few more bumps of the Warrior before he gets out of there, just so Warrior can get some heat back. And we move on, like quick turnarounds, because the man, he's Bad News Brown, or Uncle as I like to call him, taking on Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and Uncle's on the attack early. He's not my uncle, just for reference there. He's just, we share the same surname, so why not?
Hacksaw Jim Duggan is definitely not my uncle. I'm not punchy.
We've heard about the Duggan family from Bobby Heenan.
That's right. We don't need to know anymore. We know the family history.
This is a kick punch brawl. That's all we need to know.
There's a great moment where Hacksaw Jim Duggan turns around to the referee and shouts extremely loudly, "Get off my ass!" Do you hear it?
No, I didn't see that bit.
It's fucking fantastic. He's like, "Get off my ass!" It's just great.
I mean, now this is something we talked about, because Bad News Brown had a shot with Hogan, didn't he, on the Saturday Night's Main Event? Gave it a good effort. He misses the Ghetto Blaster here, and then it's a double DQ, chair versus 2x4.
Yeah.
And at this point, Jesse points out the big piece of snot hanging out of Duggan's nose, and is absolutely disgusted by
it. He says it as well. He's like, I'm absolutely disgusted by that. But I think that was a Coke snot. That was Coke snot, baby.
Oh, okay. There you go. See, Coke snot. I've never heard that.
Coke snot, bro. I'm telling you.
Mean Gene is with. Oh, fucking hell, I forgot about this. The Red Rooster.
With the Rooster.
Comes into camera shot, clucking and pecking. Literally, clucking and pecking.
This was shortly before he turned into the computerized man of the 90s.
Yes, he sorted his life out and left the farm or whatever, because he puts out, even in this promo, it's going to be a great day in the barnyard. Fuck off, man. Just shut up. It's our next match. It's Bobby Heenan, who's with the Brooklyn Brawler, against the Rooster. Sorry, this is it really. Bobby Heenan hits the turnbuckle or post, and it's over.
Yeah,
it's that quick. Brooklyn Brawler gets a little heat on the Red Rooster, and that's it. We're done.
It was pretty fucking pointless, that match, man.
Very, considering the build-up they gave it on prime time.
Yeah,
the Brawler attacked Rooster and Gorilla Monsoon, and that you'd thought they would have given it a bit more time, but they didn't. They gave it less than a minute. Let's move on, because Mean Gene's got Miss Elizabeth.
Well, can I just quickly show something? A little bit of memorabilia.
Oh, okay, yeah. As long as it's memorabilia and not another body part, we're all right.
No, it's not. No, it's a Bobby the Brain Heenan shiny sticker.
Yeah, we can just about see that. That is quality, yeah. That's from like the 1990 sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sticker album.
From the sticker album, I've actually got some cards that I'm going to dig out, and there's one where Bobby Heenan's like. I think it's the 1992 cards. I'll dig them out and I'll show them on another show or whatever. But it's a great one where it's Bobby Heenan on the golf course in some like golf trousers, and he's got like loads of clubs and he's trying to hold them, and he's just standing there with his stupid hat on and that. Just Bobby the Brain Heenan he is the greatest manager of all time.
We talk about him a lot, and we're not going to stop. So no. Yeah. Liz is saying that she's going to be in the neutral corner. she's praying no one gets injured. Blah blah blah. She's not a great promo, and she was never meant to be.
But it was peak Liz though. I mean, she looked $1 million.
Yeah, of course.
She was great, but yeah, I mean, it was terrible promo, but she was Liz.
Poor Sean Mooney's assignments finally come to an end because he's in there with the fans, and who's going to win? And you just get like people shouting at him and jumping in front of the camera. So, poor Mooney's night is done. Thank God for him, because it is main event time. It is the championship match. It is, our hero Macho Man Randy Savage against the dastardly heel Hulk Hogan.
That's right.
It's not the way it goes. But, Savage would go into this match with a massive elbow infection, and he had like a massive fever and stuff like that, which is why his elbow was taped up. It just shows you, I think that's probably why Jesse was putting him over so much as he came out to the ring. What a champion, all that stuff. Like, he was really gushing over, Randy as he made his way to the ring.
He was also calling. He was also calling Hulk Hogan Lust Hogan and talking about the pukesters.
Well, he brings up the same point that we have, that he used Liz to weasel his way into a title shot, and he's right, he did. And I think in this day and age, he'd be a heel.
He would, and he also mentions, Jesse Ventura also mentions something that I written down as well, that Macho Man as the champion came out first. But it's always the way with fucking Hogan. Like, he can't come out first and let someone have the limelight.
I reckon he begged Jack Tunney to change it.
Of course he did. He was probably mimicking, doing a bit of playing charades.
It is our championship match. It's a very pro Hogan crowd. There is, it's just the way it is. We can't.
He was over as fuck. Let's not get,
Of course he was.
He was, he was really over.
He is naturally bigger than Savage, so he is overpowering him early on. But Savage is a great heel, constantly rolling out the ring, doing anything he can to, stall and get heat. He was so good as a heel in that run. Like, even as Macho King as well.
Even as Macho King, I mean, but there's a moment in this, right? And I want to fucking just mention it, okay? So you've got Trump in the front row with his kid, and Macho Man gets out of the ring and he sees a Hogan fan with one of them foam fingers.
Yeah.
He grabs the foam finger off the fan, rips the finger off, and then throws it into the crowd, and it somehow manages to get to Trump's son, who ends up with this ripped foam finger of Hogan. Now, if you were a fan, you're a kid, you've gone to WrestleMania 5, you've bought your foam finger, and it ends up getting snatched away from you by Macho Man and ripped in half and thrown to a little rich fucker sitting in the front row. How pissed would you be?
You'd be a bit annoyed.
You'd be pissed. You'd be like, Dad, he's just fucking nicked my finger. I'll be complaining, mate. I'll be doing a Hogan.
Go rip his earpiece off. Go on.
Do you know what I mean? I'll be complaining, mate. I'll be whinging to any of them Trump Plaza staff saying, oi, you need to get me another foam finger.
I'm pretty sure they weren't cheap either.
No, they probably weren't.
I didn't see how Hogan got cut. I couldn't figure it out.
No, I think it was hard way. It must have just been a potato thrown by Randy.
Jesse notes how there's a smattering of madness in the arena. There's a bit of crowd love for Savage. Liz tries to check on the Macho Man when he's down. He's not having the bar of it. He keeps trying to push her away. And then Liz won't move out of the way when Hogan tries to post Savage. And it's all getting a bit hectic. So that dickhead, El Hebner, has enough and throws Liz out.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny how Jesse as well is like, get her out of here. She's not even supposed to be out here anyway. She's a distraction. Now Macho Man could just get on with his business.
Yeah. Savage works the throat of Hogan. And this is the bit that bugs me the most. He hits the big elbow and he hulks up. He kicks out at like fucking 1.
It's He doesn't even let him get a 2 3/4. You know, by this point, Hogan had been absolutely battered. He'd been run into a post. He'd been dropped on the outside. He'd been busted open. He'd been hit with this elbow drop. At least give him a fucking close 2.5 count.
Yeah.
But no, the fucking pukester just doesn't, he won't have it.
It's literally Hulk up, 3 punches, big boot, leg drop.
Leg drop, 1, 2, 3.
New champion, yeah. And Hogan poses for about 4 minutes.
Yeah, it's fucking...
Literally 4 minutes.
He poses for longer than the Red Rooster Heenan match.
Do you reckon that's why they got him in so quickly?
Yeah.
Yeah, just go out and do a minute. We need Hogan to pose for 4.
Yeah, that's right. Just go out. We need to cut it back.
Jesse's not happy. You know, he was hoping they'd have 2 champions that he would like, you know, by the end of the show.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work that way.
And this is at the
point
to
come back.
Yeah, he threatens to come back. He says, at this point, I'm actually thinking about coming back to the ring because someone has got to teach this chump a lesson.
Maybe Jesse had designs on coming back. Who knows? Like, you know, he would have been super over.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Can you imagine Jesse the Body Ventura versus Hulk Hogan? WrestleMania 6.
Big business, yeah.
Fuck that, bruv. That's money.
It wasn't to be. The booth signs off, and that is WrestleMania 5. And, you know, it's a weird show that was 3 hours, 40 minutes long.
That we won't get back.
No, we won't. But, I mean, I'm not mad that we watched it because we got to talk about it. So
yeah, no, I mean, to be honest, it was a nice look back on an era where it was turning, weren't it? It was, we're going into the 90s.
Yeah.
It was, as we were getting to WrestleMania 6 and 7 and 8.
Hulkamania is still wild here.
Oh, absolutely. You
would see that again, like when he returned from filming something else in 1990 when he comes back and like the place just does not stop popping for him. 5 minutes. Hogan's like pull with the crowd is still incredible. And like I said, this was their biggest like pay-per-view until WrestleMania 15. So they had to dine out on this for 10 years.
Yeah, they were eating off this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice to watch it back. It was a bloody long show though.
Yeah, it was. It took me a couple of goes. I had to sit and stop and then go and do something else for a bit. Like I couldn't have sat there for 3 hours and 40 minutes, like trying to take notes. It just wouldn't have worked for me. But
that's not going to work, brother.
Yeah, that's not going to work for me, brother. And that's it. Yeah, like we haven't even scratched the surface of what we're going to watch next. I would imagine it would be a WCW show. We've not talked about WCW in the longest time, and I am getting a little bit, edgy about that. I miss WCW.
Yeah, I've got a bit of an itch as well. So
it's not
all right. I mean, it's it's definitely going to be a WCW show, the next one. You reckon?
We haven't, like I said, we haven't crossed that bridge at all, but we know we're going to be back probably next week with something. And, thank you very much for sticking with it. We love everyone that has stuck with it and, hits that, slaps our bells around and stuff. Yeah.
We love it. We want these, we're teetering on the edge of this 1,000 subscribers. We're literally teetering on the edge. We just need a bit more of a push to get some more subs to get us up to that 1,000 mark, and then we can start doing the giveaways. Do we think, Jordan, that we may be in a situation when WrestleMania comes around that we might be able to watch it together? Do you think that, depending on the lockdown situation?
Oh yeah, it depends what your mate Boris says, doesn't it? Really?
He ain't my fucking mate. I tell you, dude, don't get me started on that cunt. Why, yeah, you're the, at the end of the day, I
Remember,
haven't.
WrestleMania's 2 nights.
It's 2 nights, yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
Saturday and Sunday, yeah. So,
and I'll tell you what. Let me just.
is there a takeover that weekend as well?
Possibly, yeah.
It's a lot.
A lot of wrestling. So here is the Road to WrestleMania stickers. I've also got the album. This is actually a great sticker book because it's got a lot of stuff about previous Royal Rumbles, previous WrestleManias, a lot of older stars in there as well, a lot of history, and that. So got these little sticker packs. So we're going to be doing the WrestleMania special because why the fuck not? But yeah, we're not sure if we're going to be able to watch it all together. I mean, a watch along on that is going to be a fucking too much, isn't it?
Oh God, no, hell, yeah. I mean, we should just enjoy the show, really. Like, trying to do a watch along would just be hurtful to everyone else trying to watch along.
Oh yeah, I mean, but the thing is,
watching me sleep through WrestleMania is probably not the best idea.
It will be great. I mean, we've not seen each other in person for fucking months, bro, have we?
Yeah, been months, and we don't live that far apart.
We literally live like really close, but because of this shit that we're in at the moment, we've not been able to intermingle. But hopefully the restrictions might be lifted, and coming this year to a TV, computer, or phone screen near you, we may have a Chat, Grapple, and Cheap Pops podcast where we're sitting in the same room together with one camera.
No, I put this on Instagram the other day. Like, we are closer than ever, it feels like, to getting back to watching wrestling shows live.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing for me. I just, being live in an arena, in a civic hall, in a bloody high school gym,
anywhere, and I think if as soon as NXT UK start doing bits and bobs, we're going to be there. As soon as AEW comes over, we're going to be there. As soon as they start down the fucking theater down the road, mate, we're going to be there.
There you go.
Give me some aging stars. We're fucking go and see them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely it from us. Thank you so much for staying with it, and thank you so much for watching the interviews, coming back and watching us chat absolute shit about this half Charlie show. We've spoken about a lot of weird stuff today.
but fuck it, that's what we do, man. And but we are definitely coming back with a WCW show next. So we're not sure what one it's going to be.
Remember to follow, subscribe, like, tell your friends, tell your family, tell everyone. IBJB. That's my good man, Chris. I'm pointing at the wrong side. What the fuck? But, take care, guys. We'll see you soon.
Take care. Bye.